Hi, I'm Rachel Lynn, and today is my mid-month budget update. So I am on a journey to get out of my student loan debt and lose some weight along the way. If either of those things interest you, go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below and join me on this journey. Alright, it is the middle of the month. I cannot believe that June is halfway over as it is. Like, where does the time go? Seriously, I have no idea. It just goes and it just keeps going. It never stops. The month is halfway over, and so it is time for me to kind of check in with my budget, see how things are going, see if I need to adjust anything, see if I'm on track for saving and for paying off debt and all of those things. If you don't know, I have left my last teaching job and I am now looking for a new job that hopefully I can start in August. I will continue to get paid through July, I do believe, is when my last paycheck will come. And so right now I am in bare bones budget mode. I am in storm mode. I am preparing for if I don't find a job. Now I am very hopeful and I am, very confident in myself, but sometimes there are things that you don't see coming and sometimes you don't know for sure. So until I know for sure 100% that I have a job, I am not spending any money on my student loans except for my minimum payments. So what I'm doing is taking all of my money that I would be putting towards my student loans and I'm putting that in savings. But of course I don't make any extra payments towards my student loans till the end of the month anyway. So right now, the budget's not really any different than it would normally be, but I do have lowered amounts and I am trying to spend as little as possible. So let's go ahead and get into the budget and see how I'm doing so far. First of all, my notes, it's just from the beginning of the month. I have a potential to not have a job come August and no income come August, so I have to save for the future, and so I am in bare bones budget mode. Alright, this is my known allocations, anything that I know is coming up and I know how much it's going to be, except for my extra student loan payment that just comes at the end of the month. So far I have given $60 to my church. I give $30 a week. I am continuing to do that as long as I'm getting paid. I will continue to give to my church. If I am no longer getting paid, then I will cut that off, but hopefully that won't have to happen. My savings, I put $1.79 into my savings account. That is purely interest that I've earned from my Capital One 360 savings and checking accounts. I highly recommend those accounts. You can use my link down below and you can get a free $25, and I can actually earn $20 if you use my link below. And I love the interest that's earned from them, so go ahead and use that if you don't already have one, and I just highly recommend them. They're great accounts, very easy to use. I have paid $273.66 to, it says rent, but that's because I live at home. My parents are paying my undergraduate student loans from when I was in college. They promised to pay for my college education when I entered college, and so they are still fulfilling that promise. But we've just kind of cut out the middleman. Instead of paying my parents rent and then my parents paying that payment, I just pay that payment and then they actually make up the difference. My graduate student loan payment, these are both minimum payments, by the way. So my graduate student loan payment I am responsible for completely, and that is $110.24. Of course, I don't make my extra student loan payment until the end of the month. I don't add anything to my extra checking account. This is just where half of my emergency fund lays, and then it makes it easy for me to access my sinking funds and my savings accounts in Capital One 360. And I put $170 towards my sinking funds. I used to do this at the end of the month, but I started doing that at the beginning, just to have that money accessible at the beginning of the month, just in case I needed a little bit more money in different sinking fund categories. This is drastically reduced from what it normally is because of my bare bones budget. Then HP Instant Ink came out. It is $5.29. It's an ink service where I get ink delivered to my house, and I can use my printer, and I don't have to worry about buying ink, and it's a lot cheaper actually than buying ink at the store. I have not paid my Verizon bill yet. I do that at the end of the month. So for gas, I've gotten gas twice this month. Once was in my car at Love's, and it was $26.43. And then the other time, this was in my dad's car, and he actually reimbursed me and gave me cash. But because I used my card, it goes through my budget, and so then I just kind of have that cash, and it's kind of free to use. But it is money that came out of that budget, and it was $39.49. You can tell that my dad has a much bigger gas tank than I do. I have a tiny little car. It's like an 11-gallon gas tank. So I still have $59.08 left in my budget for gas. I think I over budgeted. I thought that I would be driving a lot more. I was considering doing things like DoorDash and Instacart or something like that, but I haven't actually started that yet because I'm looking for a job and finishing up the end of the school year, and like moving out of my classroom, and then both of my parents were in the hospital, and so it's just been crazy. But I'm not driving as much as I thought that I would be. So I had some extra money, which is why I went on ahead and I paid for the gas and let my dad pay me back in cash. For groceries, I have spent nothing so far. My parents have been very gracious in letting me buy the things that I want and need at the store. It's great because my mom will eat a lot of the same things. So even though my dad pretty much abhors fruits and vegetables, well, at least most vegetables anyway, my mom loves them, and so I want to eat more of them. My mom loves them. So anyway, I really haven't had to purchase anything for myself because my parents have been gracious enough to purchase the things that I am asking for at the store. For my teaching allocation, I have spent nothing so far. I didn't really think that I would. I just put a little bit of money in there, $25, just in case there was something that came up. So, I mean, I'm kind of where I thought I would be with this, but I just wanted a just in case money, and that's what that $25 is for. For my spending allocation, I have not spent any money at all on anything except for my Apple storage, which is 99 cents. And I even had an outing with a really good friend of mine, and it was completely free because I used a gift card when we went to lunch, and then we went and did something for free at a nearby state park. So I have $39.01 left in my spending allocation. For my restaurant budget, I have only spent $5. That leaves me $20 for the rest of the month. Now, I will have to be honest with you, I have spent more money in restaurants than this, but I used cash. And in my budgets, the way that I do things, cash is free money. Like, not free money, but I mean, I don't have to track it. I don't have to pull it out of the budget. It's just money that can be spent in any way that I see necessary. And when my parents were in the hospital last week, my brother and I ate out a couple of times, and it was just easier and better for me to use cash. Had I not been using cash, I would have already blown this budget because it is cut way back because of my bare bones budget. But that's kind of the beauty of me using cash, is that I can use it in any way that I want to, and it kind of relieves some of the pressure off of my budget for times like having two parents in the hospital at the same time, because that's pretty stressful. I have not spent any money from my sinking funds. And then for my income, this is money that I have brought in so far as of the middle of the month. So I received my first paycheck, which I use the last paycheck that I get at the very end of the month. Since it's the last day of the month, I just count that as it being the first of the month, and that was $1145.93. I got my Capital One interest, which I already told you about, and that was $1.79. I got paid from Churchill Downs for working one day, and it was $123.32. And then I got my second paycheck from teaching, and that was $1145.93. So far, my total income is $2416.97, which is more than what I normally make. That's more than what I base my main budget on, which is great. I am definitely looking forward to adding a lot more income by the end of the month. There are some things that I have coming in really soon, so I'm really excited to show you those when I recap the whole month. But all of that money is not going to debt, unfortunately. It will go into savings. Alright, let's just recap everything really quickly. I have spent $60 and I have $60 remaining to give to church. I don't plan how much is going to be put into savings as far as my Capital One interest. It's just whatever I earn goes in there, so it balances out in the budget in the end. My rent is right on target. My graduate loan payment is right on target. I haven't done anything here. I don't plan on putting anything there because it's going to go to savings, but it is right on target, I guess you could say. I haven't added anything here, and I won't. My sinking funds are right on target. HP Instant Ink is right on target. Verizon, it'll be around $53, but of course that comes at the end of the month. And actually I'm like a month ahead on paying it because it comes at the end of the month. I count it in the month that I'm in, even though it's actually the bill for the next month. It's like not due until like the middle of the next month. My gas, I still have $59.08 left to spend. Groceries, I still have $50, but I am crossing my fingers that I won't have to spend any of that. I'm being very wise about the things that I am asking my parents for, and they are being extra gracious in helping me purchase those things, but I'm also keeping their grocery costs down as well. I'm not adding a lot to their bill, so it's kind of like a win-win for us. My teaching is $25. I might use that money just in case I need to purchase like paper or something like that for resumes. So far everything has been digital and online, and I might still have some resume paper left somewhere around, so I will look around for that. But if I need to purchase those kinds of things or anything like that, then that will come out of my teaching budget, because looking for a teaching job falls under the teaching category, I say. For my spending money, I still have $39.01 left over. I don't know if I'll use that. I do have plans to hang out with some friends this month, but I don't know if I will actually spend any money. I'm gonna try not to, but you know what? I could use a breather. I really could. And if that means going to a movie and spending $10 on a movie, I might have to do that, because this month has been extremely stressful, and I think spending a little bit of money to relieve some of that stress is not a bad thing. I do want to try not to spend any money, but sometimes you just need a little outlet, and that's okay. That's what budgets are all about. It's giving me permission to spend on things, and I have this permission to spend that $40. So even though I'm trying to spend as little as possible, I have permission to spend that $40, and I have to remind myself of that. It's okay. Don't stress out about it. So it's okay. And especially now that the month is half over, I kind of feel more like, okay, you know, if I spent a lot of it at the beginning and then I didn't have much left at the end of the month, I would probably be more worried about it. But since I made it this far, and just make it a little bit longer, or even just spend just a little bit to relieve that stress, it would be great, actually. I have $20 left in restaurants. That budget is so tight, but I have to remind myself I have a lot of gift cards to a lot of different food places. So if I try to stick to those places, then I mean, I should be good on restaurants. And like I did this last week, I was able to spend money at restaurants using cash. I don't like using cash because I like having a record of everything that I spend, but if that means being able to spend and it not come out of my budget, that's what I'll do. Weight loss, I still have $50 left. I have not picked out a 5K quite yet for the month of July. That's what the weight loss category is for doing a monthly 5K. I really haven't found one that I really like. There's just like not very many 5Ks in July that I'm really interested in. So that is how my June is going, and I still cannot believe that June is halfway over. I would love to know from you, how is your budget going so far this month? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Also, don't forget to like this video. It really helps me out here on YouTube. And then, of course, subscribe if you are not already. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!